To be polytheistic means that you live an unorthodox, non-traditional, very rebellious life, in whatever rebellion means to you. It just means that you follow your own rules, that you color outside of the lines, and that you take and draw from different religions and different sources that speak to you. And there's no rigidity around your connection to spirit. That's what this means. Personally, I have had some dates go left when I revealed this about myself. I think it's very important to reveal it very early because it's a very core value for people to want to know, what are your values? What are the things that you are taking very seriously in your life? How are you praying? How are you showing up? What are the sources that you draw from? Who do you bow to? These are the questions, right? At least for me. And so if there's someone who's super rigid within their practice of their own religion and their own communion with their spirituality, it's important to know up front. For me, I am very forthright about letting people know that I'm an explorer, I'm an adventurer, and I'm someone who has traveled to over 25 countries in the world and practiced and learned from many different, not only religions, but ancient traditions passed down from different cultures that I adopt in my life, and also that feel very natural and good to me. And so for the people who also feel this way, here's a video for you. I'm just going to talk about what it means to live this way, how we can navigate, and how amazing and precious it is to be someone who's open, to be in a world that is full of possibility, full of mystery, full of gems to discover, and being open to seeing what all of that is, not closing yourself off to something that doesn't seem like it's familiar to you. We always have the choice to try things out, and if they work, then they work. And if they don't, to just let them be, not to condemn them and not to tell them that they're wrong when you find that you're around people who practice something other than what you grew up practicing, to be open and curious about what's going on here. The first practice I think that I explored outside of the parameters of what I've been taught was Buddhism. And that really opened the way for many, many other things that I've been able to explore: Hinduism, shamanism, and the umbrella of that and all the things that looks like. Taoism, the stories of Hinduism, ancient Mesopotamian works, the Sufis and Sufi religion, Sufi poetry, different philosophies and ideologies. There are so many ways to connect. And a lot of times you'll find that you're hearing and seeing the same things. The same things will click for you. The same things will resonate with you. Different principles that are foundational to many different religions and cultures and practices and philosophies across the world. A lot of them have similarities. A lot of them have consistencies that tie into being a good person, wanting peace, being an asset to your community, all things that you can lay down as foundations for your life. And if it's something that you find along this journey of exploring different theologies and religions and practices, that you find something that really resonates with you and you want to stick to that one, and you find that it is something that you want to explore for years and years, then you have the freedom to go down that road. Maybe you find Buddhism and you decide that you want to practice it for years and years and years on end, and go to the communal meetings and dive deep into the different levels of knowledge that you can attain. but you don't have to call yourself strictly a Buddhist, if that makes sense. To live a polytheistic life means that you are open to different forms of prayer. It means that you are open to different practices and different ways to communicate with spirit, with higher sources, with yourself. Oftentimes when I'm in a new practice, I will, especially if it's something that I'm practicing and it's new, if this space is new. So for example, when I started to explore Buddhism back in LA, when it was introduced to me, and going to the chanting spaces where they get together and we're in a big group and we're probably either in the Buddhist center or meeting at someone's house who has a bunch of space for us to get together, and everyone's in the same space and they're chanting. The energy is heightened. Everyone is focused on their goals and marrying their prayer with sound. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful experience if you have never experienced anything like that before. So imagine a room full of people doing that. A room full of people getting together, hands in prayer posture, chanting a mantra all together. The sound is strong, the vibrations are strong. But when I first started to do that, when I first started to enter those rooms, I felt way out of place. I felt like I didn't know what to do. I just went along with the mantras. You can kind of catch on and flow into the sounds. But especially since it was new, I started to, after a certain moment, after a certain point, time starts to become more expansive and you can feel the vibrations of the energy in the room. And in that place, I started to think, what do I do with this energy? What do I do with my thoughts here? Thoughts of feeling like maybe I'm not doing it right, thoughts of wanting something to come from this, thoughts of anything and everything. The monkey mind running rampant, right? In these moments, you can draw from what you do already know. And so for me, I would start to say the prayers in my mind that I knew already from memory, growing up in Christian churches, that still feel comforting to me, that are things that I can recite on end, things that I can recite very naturally, putting that into this place that I feel that is a powerful place to be. Like, what do I do in this place? What do I do with this energy? I'm going to say these prayers that I know in this space that I don't know because it feels good. Bam. And just take it from there. Just being willing to sit in the space. And from those moments, I was able to gain so much clarity and confidence and all the things that come from finding a really great and helpful spiritual community that makes you feel good and encourages you to do well in life, all these things. At the end of the day, I am not a regular Buddhist temple member of any congregation. I'm not a part of any community consistently. I have many communities that I dabble in just because there's always something new to explore in my mind, and for the minds of many other polytheists out there, that it's not that there's no loyalty. The loyalty is to self. It's to your inherent power. The loyalty is to the self that is infinite, the self that is connected to everything and anyone, the self that is limitless. The loyalty is to your guides, is to the guidance system that you have within you, is to the power that is all around you, who you can choose to identify as God, as Goddess, as the Great Spirit, as Pachamama, as Mother Earth, as the All Father. These are just representations for you to have that foundation and to recognize that these forms are always present in every practice that you come to, in every way that you experiment, in every way that you take the risk and go up that mountain with a Hindu priest and listen to his prayers and chanting, even though you don't understand the language, but you can feel the energy and know that it's good. And if it's not, you get the hell out of there. It won't be easy for the masses to understand. It's not something to have casual conversation about. It's not something to just blurb out into anyone who will listen, because the conversation around religion and spirituality is very tender and sacred for many of us. And so this isn't something that everyone can readily understand. It's not something that is a common conversation to have. But it is an important conversation to have when you find that there are people who are open and willing to have the curiosity and the discussions and the debates and the opinions flowing in a respectful way. It's cool. It's all good. If you found this video and it resonates with you, and there are religions that you have found, different practices that you have found, different theologies and philosophies that you have found that have really spoken to your life, that you've really adopted into your life, that have made a huge difference in your life, please share them with me here. I'm always open and curious to know. For me, I just got done reading the Kabbalion Hermetic teachings, and just finding something like that that's an ancient text about things that I inherently knew within my spirit and my soul, that I recognized right away, and I was able to read this confirmation that was written by Hermes and his followers and his students, to know that there's so much more to explore, that what we feel, what we're drawn to is bigger than us. This guidance that we have to explore these different levels of understanding of the fabric of the universe, and how we can commune with a higher power and be in co-creation with the world, how we want to live abundant, beautiful, and peaceful and purposeful lives. These are all right on point with many teachings, because at the end of the day, we are just one blip in this time wave of the world that we were born into. And there are people who have done these things already that we're trying to do, who have had the same questions about life that we have, and we can just go and explore the different wisdom that's available to us through different cultures and different lifetimes and ways of life that have different approaches to how we want to achieve our connections with spirit, how we want to be a good person, how we want to have a solid foundation and come to a place where we no longer fear death. To come to a place where we are able to alleviate our suffering in this world through our practices, through our spiritual connection, through the way that we show up for things greater than our understanding, for things greater than how we draw from an ability greater than ours, from a strength, a source of strength greater than ours. Figuring out different ways to do that without putting those ways in a box. And with that, I look forward to reading your comments about this video here and some of the different ways that you've been able to experiment in this life. As I continue to travel, right now I'm in South Africa, and just discovering all of the ways that people live their lives in many different forms, many different approaches throughout the world that are all so similar, that we all want the same things, essentially: love, peace, harmony, family, to feel like we belong, to feel like we have purpose, how we show up with that knowledge and that need within all of us. As I travel, and I've been so many places now, I see different ways that people have figured out how to live quality lives based on what they have, based on what's available, how to create, how to have abundance, how to cultivate love, all of these things that are different, just like in different languages, but not necessarily different. The essence that we have as human beings, what we want and we desire, much of the same within our hearts, knowing that we are connected in these ways, to be open to all of the ways that it's possible to be human. This is essentially polytheism in my mind. And I hope that it was helpful for you and it was confirmation for you if you're someone who maybe identifies this way but has not really been comfortable enough to fully own that, to say, hey, I don't want to be boxed in. I want to explore, and I'm going to dedicate my life to exploring everything around the corner and adopting all of the things that I feel ring true for me, that allow me to live an abundant, high quality life. Let's continue to do that, and let's do it together. So I hope to see you on the next video that I post here, and continue to talk about our growth and our philosophies and the things that are working in our lives, the things that are working in my life, and the knowledge that I have to share, to continue to showing up for you, to continue showing up for you in this way, continuing to learn how to speak better by showing up and speaking for you in this way, and to do all I can to be of service in this way by sharing what I know and what has helped me grow exponentially in my life, and to help other people out there feel like they have someone who gets it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Let me know if there's something specific that you want to explore even deeper, and I'll see you there soon.